in a world increasingly consumed by social media, it's so easy to get lost in the skewed lens of everything curated to look picture perfect. So joining us with how we can all be a little bit more authentic among all of the filters is motivational speaker and best-selling author Dr. Dain here. Dr. Dain, so good to see you back again. I know this is something that I struggle with personally, but you've got some tips for us. And the first one you say is be willing to mess up. Let's start there.
Yes. The thing is, we live in a perfectly curated world where everybody looks perfect. That perfect picture that you see of the family that they took right before sunset in front of the waterfall. You don't realize that the kids were throwing up and fighting each other and mom and dad were at each other. And so we need to be willing to mess up. That's really where the fun is. If you can screw something up and poke fun at yourself, then other people's judgments don't matter. You're like, hi, I'm here, warts and all. And it's a really refreshing space to function from.
Yeah, it really is. But I think, sometimes a lot of people have a hard time embracing like maybe some imperfection because everything we see is so perfect.
Yes, true story. And we need to realize no one is perfect and nothing is actually perfect. All of that is curated. And so if we can recognize that the idea of perfection is something that is unattainable. And if we can do instead, let's do the best job we can. And let's also inspire other people by not having to be perfect. One of the things that is refreshing to me is there's a movement on social media toward people who are truly being themselves, who are poking fun at themselves, is saying, hey, I don't have this perfect. I've got a great idea. Here it is. And if we can do that, we then, once again, we come out of that world of judgment that we place ourselves in that somehow tells us that we're not enough. Somebody else is greater than we are. They're just like us. They put their pants on one leg at a time also.
Yeah, I think those are always like such good reminders. Like at the end of the day, we're all human beings. One of your other tips is to be your own cheerleader. How can we do that?
Well, what we need to do is look at something that you used to judge yourself for that you found is actually a strength or a greatness of you. So many of us spend our lives judging us, thinking that if I judge myself more and look down upon myself, then I'll become a better person. But in actuality, it's when you start acknowledging the things that you do and are that are actually wonderful. You may be a really kind person who empowers others. You may be somebody who makes other people laugh. Acknowledge those things. And my suggestion is acknowledge at least one thing a day that's great about you and write it down and have that as your list when you're not feeling like you could be a cheerleader for yourself.
Yeah, that's a really great idea. Would you recommend taking a social media break ever?
Sometimes. And, certain people are like, I'm off social for months. But what's funny is they make a big deal of telling everybody. But it can be really simple. Take an hour. Take an hour to you. Do something that's nurturing. Do something that's fun. Put your phone down. Get away from your computer. And what you'll notice is you'll not only recharge your batteries, but what'll happen is when you're not having your entire world enmeshed in what is going on for everybody else, you start to be able to get present with you in your own life. And that's really when life is fun and worth living, is when we're actually present with us.
Oh, Dr. Dain here, so many great things. We'll end with, one last one, which you say is you want us to be the leader instead of following. Can you explain that?
Yes, a true leader from my point of view is somebody who knows where they need to go and knows what is possible for them and others and doesn't require anybody else to go along for the journey. And if we would be that in our own lives, what happens is people start to gravitate toward us because we know something that's different and we're being uniquely us. We're actually being and seeing ourselves as a gift. And other people want to see themselves as a gift also. And when we're willing to be a leader that doesn't require followers, that doesn't require likes, it's amazing how many people want to follow you and like you because that's exactly what they desire also. And we can inspire them to be that and recognize they also are a gift.
You always have so many great aha moments, and I'm going to take all of these personally, and I hope our viewers do as well. drdainheer.com if you want to connect more. Thank you so much for your time today. Really appreciate it. Great insight.
Thank you.
All right. Take good care, and we'll have more Good Morning Washington after this.